question number. Okay, so very good morning to all of you. So today we'll commence with the MCQs for strategies for enhancement in food production. Okay, so the first question in this from the animal husbandry topic is animal husbandry deals with. So the first option they have given is the care and breeding of livestock, poultry farming and dairy farm management, fisheries and beekeeping, all of the above. Yes, it is the all of the above is the right answer. Okay. Second question, more than dash of the world livestock population is in India and China. However, the contribution to the world farm produce is only dash. So which is the option here? More than dash percent of the world livestock population. So in India and China, it is 70% of the world livestock population is in India and China. However, the contribution to the world farm produce is only 25%. So C is the right option. 70% and 25% is the right option. Okay. The modification of genotype of an organism to make that organism more useful to human is called the modification of genotype of an organism to make that organism more useful to human is called the genetic makeup we are modifying. So what do we call that type of organism? What do you call that process as? Is it breeding, inbreeding, outbreeding, crossbreeding? See, this is the definition of breeding, isn't it? The modification of genotype or genetic makeup of an organism to make that organism more useful to human is called breeding. So first one is the option A is the correct answer for this. Okay. Inbreeding is mating of animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on either side of their pedigree up to 4 to 6 generations. Mating of animals, mating of more closely related individuals with the same breed within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations, or is it mating of superior males of one breed with superior females of another breed, or mating of male and female of two different species? Okay, so what is inbreeding deals with? Is it mating of animals within the same breed but having no common ancestors on either side of their pedigree up to 4 to 6 generations? Or is it mating of more closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations? So they have closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. This is inbreeding. A is outbreeding. Okay, so definition of it. So B is the correct one. So mating of more closely related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. So we call that sort of mating within the related individuals within the same breed for 4 to 6 generations. We call this as inbreeding. So that is the definition of inbreeding. So Isidale sheep developed in Punjab by crossing Bikaneri Haves and Merino rams is an example for. What is it an example for? Is it an example for outcrossing, inbreeding, crossbreeding, or outbreeding? So Isidale sheep developed in Punjab by crossing Bikaneri Eves and Merino rams is an example for. So what is the answer for this, dear students? The here itself crossing Bikaneri Eves, it is nothing but crossbreeding. Okay, so different breeds like Bikaneri Eves and Merino rams are different breeds. So it is crossbreeding to obtain Isidale sheep in Punjab. So remember this, it is an example for crossbreeding. So fifth one is C is the answer. Sixth one, which of the following is not example for interspecific hybridization? Not example. Okay, wrong one you should choose. So male ass and female horse, mule, female has and male horse, ini. So please look into this examples because three of them are correct, and this also gives you some general information about. We are only aware about mule. Now, Hinni is obtained when it is crossed between female horse and male horse, Hinni, male lion and female tiger. So we call it as liger. So wherever the uh, male is there, so the letter starts with that. Okay, mule. So male horse and female horse, mule, male lion and female tiger, lion, liger. Okay, female horse and male horse, Hinni we call it as. So interspecific hybridization, this is not an example for interspecific hybridization. So Bicaneri Hughes and Merino Rams Hisardale, it is an example for crossbreeding. It's not an example for interspecific hybridization, whereas A, B, and C are examples for interspecific hybridization. Just remember about it. So D is the not an example for interspecific hybridization. Any doubts there? Okay. So avoid switching on your mics, dear students. It causes disturbances. At the end of the session, doubt clarification session is there. You can utilize that time. So which one of the following statements is false regarding outcrossing? So they have asked the statement. So three statements are correct and one statement is wrong for outcrossing. So we have to find out which of those statements is false regarding the outcrossing. It is a type of the breeding of the unrelated animals. Okay. This is mating of animals within the same breed, but having no common ancestors on either side of their pedigree up to 4 to 6 generation. So this is the definition for outbreeding. Okay. So then it is the best method for animals having low productivity in milk production, growth rate in beef cattle, etc. So outcrossing, it will be always be between the superior female and superior male. So it is the best method. Outcrossing is the best method for animals having low productivity in milk production to improve the milk production. So the outcrossing is the best method, especially for animals with this and growth rate in beef cattle. So that could be improved by outcrossing. Continued outcrossing may reduce fertility and productivity. So this is the wrong statement. So continued outcrossing doesn't reduce fertility and productivity. So this is the wrong statement. So outcrossing, the fourth option is wrong. Okay. So continued outcrossing does not reduce fertility and productivity. Okay, this is the wrong statement. D. In MOET, that is multiple ovulation and embryo transfer, a cow is administered hormones with FSH-like activity to induce. So a cow is administered hormones with follicle stimulating hormone-like activity to induce. What do they induce? Proliferation of endometrial lining, formation of milk in mammary alveoli, or is it follicular maturation and superovulation, or is it development of corpus luteum? So what is going to happen here? In MOAT, multiple ovulation and embryo transfer, a cow is administered hormones with follicle stimulating hormone like activity to induce. So what does it induce? So majorly follicular maturation and superovulation, isn't it? So that is what multiple ovulation purpose itself is, uh, follicular maturation and superovulation. So this is the correct option. Okay. In MOET, fertilized eggs at dash stages are recovered and transferred to surrogate mothers. In multiple ovulation and embryo transfer, fertilized eggs at which stages are recovered and transferred to surrogate mothers? Is it at 8 to 32 cells, or is it at 8 cells, or is it at 32 cells, or is it at 8 to 16 cells? The answer is 8 to 32 cells. Fertilized eggs at 8 to 32 cells stages are recovered and transferred to surrogate mothers. See, always, as I told you, stick on to the NCRT book answers. There might be variations in your NEET synopsis, the NEET books or synopsis that they have. So give first priority for the 95% of questions being asked from your NCRT book. So that 5% of question outside of the syllabus, it's not predictable. You have to read a lot of books for getting that 5% of additional um, marks. Okay, so remember here 8 to 32 cells stages are recovered and transferred to surrogate mothers. So ninth one, A is the answer. 10th one, the maintenance of hives of honeybee for the production of honey and bee wax is known as, what is it known as? Sericulture, apiculture, pisciculture, or moriculture? Apiculture. So the maintenance of hives of honeybees for the production of honey and bee wax is known as apiculture. See, the word is derived from the generic name. Apis is the generic name for honeybee. So it is derived from that, and that is what we call it as apiculture. So maintenance of hives of honeybees for honey and bee wax is known as apiculture. Most common species that is reared for apiculture is Apis indica, isn't it? There are other species, smaller varieties, more aggressive are there, like Apis dorsata, Apis florea, Apis mellifera. But most common species that is reared for the apiculture, that is maintenance of hives of honeybees, is Apis indica. So 11th one, A is the answer. So 12th, the development and flourishing of the fishery industry is known as. So the development and flourishing of food crops is green revolution, milk production or dairy production is white revolution. So the development and flourishing of the fish industry is known as green revolution. So that is the development and flourishing of the fishery industry is known as blue revolution. Sorry, blue revolution it is. See, blue revolution. Next, there are questions from plant breeding. The entire collection of plant seeds having all the alleles, okay, all the alleles for a gene in a given crop is called entire collection of plants or seeds having all the alleles. So we call it as germplasm, isn't it? So 13th one, the answer is germplasm. So it is the definition of germplasm, the entire collection of plants or seeds having all the alleles for all genes in a given crop is germplasm. So 13th B is the answer. 14th, Sonalika and Kalyan Sona were high yielding and disease resistant varieties of wheat. Okay, so the semi-dwarf varieties in India that are being utilized of wheat are Sonalika and Kalyan Sona. So wheat is the answer for the Sonalika and Kalyan Sona are the wheat varieties. So the father of green revolution is Norman Borlaug. Indian green revolution is M.S. Swaminathan. Father of the white revolution is Varghese Kurian, especially the Amul, if you remember. So Varghese Kurian. So father of green revolution is Norman Borlaug. In India, semi-dwarf rice varieties were derived from IR8, Taichung Native 1, Jaya and Ratna, both A and B. See, it is both A and B, isn't it? IR8, I told you in Tamil Nadu, it is one of the popular rice varieties, quite popular there. This is a rice variety developed by the International Rice Research Institute at Philippines. It was crossed with Taichung Native 1 from Taiwan to obtain the semi-dwarf varieties. Okay, so both A and B is the answer. So D is the answer for 16th one. So D is the answer for the 16th one. 17th, which is not true about Saccharum officinarum. It is a tropical canes in South India. It has thicker stems. It has only very low sugar content. It does not grow well in North India. So what is not true about Saccharum officinarum? Okay. So what is not true about Saccharum? It is tropical uh, canes in South India. That is correct. It has thicker stems. Yes. It has only very low sugar content. This is Not true about it. It does not grow well in North India. That is true. It grows in South India. So it is a known fact. C is the answer. So it is incorrect statement is it has only very low sugar content is wrong. It has high sugar content. So 17C is the uh, not true about Saccharum officinarum. Okay. 18th question, match the following. See, I had given you those, it can be given it as match the following. It's a very good question, isn't it? So wheat, can you identify the disease resistant varieties they are talking about? Wheat, Himgiri, isn't it? A is 5. So wheat is Himgiri, only one option is there. Brassica, just tell what is this Brassica resistant variety of this are called resistant against the white rust. Okay, Pusa swarnim or currant rye, isn't it? Cauliflower. So cauliflower is Pusa shubra and Pusa snowball. Cowpea or alsande. I told you about this. Alsande is the Pusa komal. Chili, Pusa sadabahar. So A5, B4, C2. So this is the correct option for this match the following. So wheat is Himgiri, Brassica is Pusa swarnim or currant rye. Many times they have given this Brassica, I told you, mustard. Cauliflower, Pusa shubra and Pusa snowball K1. Cowpea, Pusa komal. So D is 3. Chili, Pusa, Sadabahar. So this sort of questions it might be framed. So these are disease resistant varieties that were obtained. Okay. Next question, 19th question. So you know that A is the answer for that previous match the following. So match the following. Himgiri. So what disease they are resistant to? This variety of disease resistant variety. It is wheat. So wheat has this uh, rust, leaf and stripe rust and hill bunt. So it is resistant to that. Himgiri is leaf and stripe rust and hill bunt. So Himgiri is 4, A4. So Pusa swarnim, it is in case of mustard. They have this uh, white rust. Okay. So Pusa swarnim is 5. Pusa shubra or Pusa snowball in case of cauliflower it is. So C is black rot and curl bright black rot. So based on diseases also they might ask you. Pusa komal, that is for, I think it is for the cauliflower, isn't it? Pusa komal was for the cowpea. So it was for cowpea, isn't it? So Pusa komal, so they'll be having this bacterial blight. So they can overcome this resistant to bacterial blight diseases. Pusa sadabahar, that is what it was for. Cauliflower was Pusa shubra. Chili was Pusa sadabahar. Okay. So Pusa sadabahar. So the chili mosaic virus, the name itself indicates, so easily we can find this chili mosaic virus, tobacco mosaic virus, and leaf curl. So second option is right. So A4, B5, C2, D1, E3. Himgiri is the leaf and stripe rust, hillbunt. Pusa swarnim is white rust. Okay. Pusa shubra, Pusa snowball is black rot and curl blight. Okay. Then Pusa komal. So it is going to be the bacterial blight in case of cowpea, isn't it? Pusa sadabahar is for chili. So chili mosaic virus, E3. Even if one or two of it, say I cracked this answer by knowing only Himgiri. So there is only one option with A4. So easily I was able to identify it. So remember about this sort of match the following. They might ask from those. Okay. So you should be prepared for that. So match the following crop and variety we have here. So many questions have been framed from a common uh, variety here. Brassica, rapeseed or mustard. So Brassica What is the variety? Is it Pusa Savani, Pusa A4, or is it Pusa Gaurav or Pusa Sem2, Pusa Sem3? Okay, then flat bean and okra or bindi. So we have these three varieties of it. So maybe this is a little outside of the syllabus. Okay, so brassica or rapeseed mustard, A is Pusa Gaurav. Okay, the variety. Flat bean is Pusa Sem2 and Pusa Sem3. Okra or bindi, the bendekai, lady's finger, is Pusa Savani. So A2, B3, C1. So this is the correct option for this 20th one. Brassica or rapeseed is Pusa Gaurav. Flat bean is Pusa Sem2, Pusa Sem3. Okra or bindi is Pusa Savani or Pusa A4. Okra or bindi. Match the following. Again, they have asked it in insects. So we'll be studying this later. We have not yet come across this. But anyway, I'll be giving you the answer. So insect pests, I have not yet completed it. Okay. This sort of questions won't be included in present session. But anyway, you know about the answers for it, and so that it would be easy for you in the uh, upcoming next examination. So the Pusa Gaurav. So what is the insect pest that they are able to overcome? So you have to match the following with variety, and these varieties are resistant to the insect pests, like which of those varieties they are resistant to. Okay, so Pusa Gaurav is resistant to aphids. Pusa Gaurav is resistant to aphids. Pusa Sem2, Pusa Sem3, they are resistant to the insect jessettes, aphids, and fruit borer. Pusa savani, Pusa A4, they are resistant to shoot and fruit borer. So the option would be D, A3, B1, C2. So these are the varieties which are resistant to insects. Okay, so we'll be discussing this in our syllabus later. Okay, Jaya and Ratna, this is easy question, are better yielding semi-dwarf varieties of rice. So they are better yielding semi-dwarf varieties of rice. The plant disease called rust, such as brown rust of wheat, red rot of sugarcane, and late blight of potato, are caused by fungus, isn't it? So they are all fungal diseases. So the plant disease called rust, such as brown rust of wheat, red rot of sugarcane, and late blight of potato, are caused by fungus. So they are all fungal diseases. Which of the following is not a desirable trait that breeders have tried to incorporate during plant breeding? Okay, so increased crop yield, improved quality, decreased tolerance to environmental stresses, increased tolerance to insect pests. So which of the following is not desirable trait that breeders have tried to incorporate during plant breeding? So it is not a desirable trait that breeders have tried to incorporate uh, during plant breeding. Decreased tolerance to environmental stresses, or is it increased tolerance to insect pests? So the 24th, the answer is decreased tolerance to environmental stress is not a desirable trait that breeders have tried to incorporate during plant breeding. It's not a desirable trait which the breeders have tried to incorporate. That is decreased tolerance to environmental stresses. So it should be rather increased tolerance to environmental stresses, not decreased tolerance to environmental stresses. Brown rust of wheat, again, it's a repetition, isn't it? And late blight of potato are the diseases caused by fungus. The process of exposing seeds to chemicals or radiations in order to generate uh, variations with desirable traits to be bred with other cultivars is called mutation breeding. You should know that this is called as mutation breeding. So 26, the answer is second one is the right option. Next one, 27th question. In mung bean, uh, that is, I told you this mung bean is going to be the green gram, okay, what we call it as esrucado. Resistance to dash and dash were induced by mutations. So, what were the resistance that they were induced by this? Resistance to which of them? So, yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew, or is it brown rust and powdery mildew? So, the 27th, the answer is yellow rust, yellow mosaic virus, and powdery mildew diseases. So, they were resistant to, and that was obtained by mutation breeding. Okay, so remember this uh, mung bean resistance, that is an example for mutation breeding. Okay, resistance to diseases like yellow mosaic virus and powdery mildew. So match the following characteristics. Again, this I'll be doing it later. So the hairy leaves. So what type of insects does it avoid? So if they are having large number of hairs, so this we have not yet discussed in our present syllabus that I've completed. We'll be completing it in the next week. Anyway, this one question will answer for this. So the characteristics of these plants, morphological changes, they have resistance to various insects. So we have to identify them in the correct sequence. Okay, hairy leaves. So it is going to be resistant to Jesseits and cereal leaf beetle. Hairy leaves are going to be resistant to Jesseits and cereal leaf beetle. Solid stems in wheat, they are resistant to stem sawfly. So they are resistant to stem sawflies. Instead of hollow stems, if they have solid stems, so they are resistant to this insect stem sawfly. Smooth-leaved and nectarless cotton varieties. So these are resistant to bollworms. You need not have to go for this BT plants at all, cotton. So smooth-leaved and nectarless cotton varieties are resistant to this bollworm insects because they don't have any rewarding mechanism here. High aspartic acid, low nitrogen, and sugar content in maize. Okay, high aspartic acid, low nitrogen, and sugar content in maize. So if they have this high aspartic acid, low nitrogen, and sugar content in maize, so it is going to prevent the insects like the stem borers. Okay, so stem borers are prevented by this morphological modifications in plants which resist these insects. Okay, so the first one is the correct option, A2, B4, C1, D3. Okay, see, breeding crops with higher level of nutrients is called. So is it biomagnification, bionutrition, biofortification, or none of these? So it is going to be biofortification. So today you find food with fortified food, we call it as, like they might have added vitamin D in oil, sunflower oil. So you come across those fortified foods. Okay, breeding crops with higher level of nutrients is called biofortification. So 29C is the answer, biofortification. So which of the following is a wheat hybrid with improved nutritional quality of high protein content? Is it Atlas 66? So is a wheat hybrid with improved nutritional quality of high protein content. Sonalika, Kalyan Sona, or none of this? The answer is Atlas 66 has high protein content. So 30th A is the answer. So Atlas 66 has high protein content. Sonalika and Kalyan Sona, they are the semi-dwarf wheat varieties. They don't have high protein content, but Atlas 66 is a wheat hybrid with improved protein content. Parbani Kranti, having resistant to yellow mosaic disease virus, is a new variety of Abelmoschus esculentus. Just yesterday I had discussed about this lady's finger. Scientific name is Abelmoschus esculentus. Recent scientific name is Hibiscus esculentus, they call it as. So it is Malvaceae family it belongs to. So Abelmoschus esculentus is the scientific name for lady's finger or okra or bendekai. Okay, so remember about it. So the Abelmoschus esculentus, Parbanicranthi, having resistance to yellow mosaic virus, is a new variety of Abelmoschus esculentus. In India, vegetable crops rich in vitamins and minerals are released by which institute has released it? Is it Indian Agricultural Research Institute? Or yes, it is Indian Agricultural Research Institute, which has released vegetable crops rich in vitamins and minerals. CDRI is Central Drug Research Institute. IRRI is Indian International Rice Research Institute. So the ICWMI, you have to, we'll just find out and let you know about this. So answer is IARI. So the vegetable crops rich in vitamin and minerals are released by IARI. So odd one out, iron fortified rice, lysine and tryptophan, these are all fortified foods. Lysine and tryptophan rich maize, vitamin A enriched carrots, high aspartic acid maize. So which one is the odd one out among these? So the high aspartic maize is an odd one out because this is meant for resistance to insects. It's not a fortified food. So in the stems, they have this high aspartic acid, which is resistant to insect pests. Whereas the remaining three are all fortified food, okay, where they have enriched the nutrients of the food. So D is the odd one out, which is not a single cell protein. Okay, Methylophilus, Methylotrophus, Methanobacterium, Spirulina and Chlorella are single cell proteins. Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So among this, which of them is not a single cell protein which does not produce protein? So the answer for this is Methanobacterium. It is not a single cell protein organism. So Methanobacterium is not a single cell protein organism. So it's a methanogen. Okay. So it is not a single cell protein, whereas the remaining are all single cell proteins we obtain from them. Spirulina and chlorella is very much popular and easily remembered one. Even the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Methylophilus, Methylotrophus, they're all single cell protein organism except for Methanobacterium. Okay, 250 gram of microorganism like Methylophilus, Methylotrophus produce dash per day. Is it protein? How many kg or tons is it that we have? So the 35th, the answer is 25 tons of protein is produced by 250 gram of microorganism like Methylophilus, Methylotrophus. They produce 25 tons. 1 ton is 100 kgs, isn't it? So 25 tons of proteins are produced by 250 gram of Methylophilus, Methylotrophus. So C is the answer for the 35th. 36. The technique of growing plant cells or tissues or organs in sterile culture medium under controlled aseptic conditions is tissue culture. So 36, the answer is tissue culture. We'll be discussing about that in the later topics. Okay. The ability to generate a whole plant from any cell or explant is called totipotency. We call it as the ability to generate a whole plant from any cell or explant is called as totipotency. So each plant cell has the ability to develop to form a completely new organism, new plant. Okay, we call that ability of plant cell as totipotency. See, in human beings, only a two-celled embryo, uh, each cell can develop into a complete new organism. Okay, in four-celled it does not happen. Only in two-celled embryo it happens. Totipotency is there. Only a two-celled embryo. Whereas in plants, all the cells of the plant body has its capability to form an entirely new plant. So we call it as totipotency. Okay, the process of fusion of protoplasts from two different varieties of plants with desirable characters to get hybrid protoplasts, we call it as somatic hybridization. We call this process as somatic hybridization. Pomato, I told you about potato and tomato protoplasts of two different species, potato and tomato, they were fused. The protoplast of this were fused in presence of PEG or in presence of high frequency of uh, the high electric frequency. They were fused and they obtained this pomato plant, but it was an utter failure. It neither produced potato nor tomato. So that pomato plant is an example for somatic hybridization. There are successful plants like the super cereal, the triticum. From wheat and barley, they merged it. Okay, triticale they obtained. Wheat and rye, I think, not barley, rye. Okay, so they merged it and they obtained the super variety of grain called as triticale. That was a success. So somatic hybridization is process of fusion of two protoplasts from two different varieties of plants, that is two different species itself. We call it as hybrid protoplast is called somatic hybridization. Any part of a plant that is grown in a test tube and a sterile nutrient media is called this. Any part of a plant that is grown in a test tube and a sterile nutrient media is called explant. So the definition of explant is any part of the plant that is grown in a test tube and a sterile nutrient media. Sterile means free from microorganisms. So we call that as explant. So remember about it. So these are the questions that you should remember for the topic of strategies for enhancement in food production. So just remember about this aspect of it. Any doubts or clarification, dear students? You have any doubts or clarification?